cute. I love it so much. Happy Vlogmas day 16. So today I want to show you guys the difference between a simplified hand soap and a more, for lack of a better term, advanced hand soap. So essentially the simplified hand soap is going to have minimal ingredients, basically just the basics of what you need in order to make a hand soap. And then the more advanced one, I'm going to talk about the additional ingredients I add in and what benefits they add, and just how it improves the overall hand soap. So first up, we're going to be making this simplified hand soap. And what I'm going to be making is specifically a foaming hand soap. Foaming hand soaps are by far the easiest of all the hand soaps to make because you don't need to add in a thickener. You just need a specific foam type of bottle that when you pump out the liquid, it turns it into a foam. And you do need a certain type of bottle in order to achieve this effect. Otherwise, it'll just be liquidy and kind of hard to keep into your hand. But if you guys want to see some more hand soap formulas that don't involve the foaming soap pump, let me know and I can do that. So for the simplified hand soap, first off, obviously make sure you have your scale and a sanitized container. I will link down below to all the equipment that I use for formulating. And the first ingredient I'm going to start out with is the anionic surfactant, DLS. I have more videos that deep dives into surfactants and explains more about those if you guys want to learn more about the science behind them. But I'll just give you guys a quick introduction. This one is an anionic surfactant. This is essentially the main surfactant that is going to create that foaming lathering effect. Next ingredient I'm adding in is the amphoteric surfactant, Cocamidopropyl betaine. This will assist in making larger bubbles and make the foam stronger essentially. Then I'm adding in distilled water. This is essentially the diluent, but not in a bad way. The ingredients aren't diluted in a bad way to make them not work as well. They need to be diluted because you don't want to use them at 100%. Oftentimes you'll hear people say, oh, water is just an ingredient to dilute ingredients. Yeah, because you need it to be diluted. You don't want to be putting that pure ingredient on your skin. Your skin doesn't need that much of that ingredient. So there's nothing wrong with your ingredients being diluted. Then I'm going to add in some glycerin. This is a humectant. It's a really inexpensive ingredient. It's in most cosmetics, and so this will just help hydrate your skin. Then the most important ingredient is the preservative. Liquid Germall Plus is the easiest preservative to use if you're a beginner. I'm going to add that right in and it'll just mix right in. If you use another preservative, you might need to mix it with the glycerin first in order to get it to mix into the formula, or you might have to mix it with polysorbate 20 or something. It just depends. But Liquid Germall Plus, you don't have to do that. I do have a video that talks all about preservatives. If you need more information on how to choose the perfect preservative for you, go watch those videos. I have 2 of them. And then this part is optional, but I'd say most people do like a fragrance oil in their hand soap. I actually forgot about a fragrance oil and I just added it in at the end. I use this marshmallow cream. I talk about it all the time. It's from, or creme. I always say cream, but I believe it's creme, from Natural Bulk Supplies. It smells so freaking good. I'm obsessed with it. And I actually just added this in at the end, but I really, really recommend mixing the fragrance oil with your surfactants first and then pouring it in, just to make sure the fragrance oil mixes into the formula. And also something to keep in mind, when you add fragrance oils to bubbly surfactant products, sometimes that fragrance oil can change the formula. It could turn it yellow, it could turn it like a brown, amber color, it could thicken it, it could thin it out. There's really no telling what it could do. I do notice that typically weird things happen more often when you use an anionic surfactant that is sensitive to salt. Here are all the anionic surfactants that are sensitive to salt. And something else to keep in mind if you use any of these anionic surfactants, it could thicken when you mix it with the Cocamidopropyl betaine. Just keep that in mind. It might not thicken enough to where it will affect the foaming hand soap, but it is possible that it'll thicken enough and then you can just have a gel and you don't even need the foaming hand soap. Let me know if you guys want to see formulas like that, because you can work the magic of surfactants and just blend the right ones together to get a nice thick product. I do deep dive into this topic over on my Patreon if you guys want to learn more about the science of the surfactants. Anyways, once you have everything mixed together, go ahead and pour it in your foaming pump bottle. I only had this foaming pump bottle, which honestly doesn't really look like a hand soap foaming pump bottle, but it still works so whatever. And I've been using this as a hand soap and I've been liking it. And I mean, my hands are still really dry, but honestly, I'm not seeing any difference between the hand soap I was using before. My hands are just dry because it's winter and I always forget to put lotion on them. So overall, this Simplified hand soap, honestly, I think is fine. I really don't rely on my hand soap to moisturize and hydrate my hands because it just washes off. And personally, I don't really like to use expensive ingredients in hand soaps. So when I do make a more advanced hand soap formula, I will reach for those ingredients to make it more advanced but aren't too costly. Because, like I said, mainly it all just goes down the drain. And I think it's more important to make sure you put lotion on after you wash your hands if you're washing your hands all the time than it is to spend a bunch of money making a hand soap with expensive ingredients. So I do think the Simplified hand soap is honestly fine, but if you want to step things up, let's get into it. So there's 4 ingredients I'm going to add in to make this more advanced, for lack of a better word. The first ingredient is I'm going to add in a third surfactant. This is Decyl Glucoside. This is a non-ionic surfactant. And again, if you wanted to learn more about the science behind surfactants, I got videos on that, so I'm not going to talk about it now. Typically, the more surfactants you use and you blend together, you sort of get like a better foam. Obviously, you have to do your own experimenting to see like what combination you like. But personally, I love these 3 surfactants together and I think it makes a really good rich lather. So that is why I decided to add in this third additional surfactant. I think it just steps up the formula to be a bit more of an advanced formula. Again, I am not a chemist myself, so like really this isn't an advanced formula. It's just a bit harder to make. Sorry, I just needed a term to describe it. Then the next ingredient I'm gonna add in, it's an ingredient called Glyceryl Oleate. This is a refatting agent. And this actually just makes the foam, the lather, more gentle and mild. So it will not impact the foam or lather at all. Typically, people will want to reach for like an oil or a butter to add into a foaming product to make it more moisturizing and just gentle on the skin. But in actuality, that will suppress lather and also you're kind of just washing it down the drain. So what you want to do is add in a refatting agent, and Glyceryl Oleate is perfect for that. This is honestly one of my favorite ingredients I've ever discovered and I use it all the time. It's definitely one I recommend adding into like most of your foaming surfactant systems. It really just steps your formulas up a notch and I can't recommend it more. Now, these last 2 ingredients, you don't need to add both of them, but I kind of want to introduce you to both of them. The first one is Honeyquat. This is a cationic ingredient. So again, this is talking about surfactants because there's 4 types of surfactants and cationic is the last one. This is a conditioning ingredient. And when you think of cationic, think conditioning, conditioning. And cationic ingredients are typically what's used in the hair to condition the hair. And Honeyquat is a mild conditioning agent. So adding that into the hand soap will help condition your hands. Now this last ingredient I want to talk about, I really don't have a lot of experience with. I've only used it a couple of times. It is PEG 50 shea butter. So it's shea butter that's been modified to make it water soluble. So for all of you guys who have been wanting the benefits of shea butter in a product that just is not taking a butter, get PEG 50 shea butter. I ordered mine from lotioncrafter.com. So essentially you'll have the benefits of shea butter, but in a water-based product. So that's why I added it in. And those are all the ingredients I added into this product to make it more advanced. So let me show you guys how I brought it all together. Again, it's super easy. Just start out with adding in your DLS, Cocamidopropyl betaine, and then your Decyl Glucoside. Now, this is when I recommend adding in your fragrance oil just for the best results. You probably can add it in at the end, but I just personally like mixing it in with the surfactants because I know it works as the solubilizer. So I think it will just work best mixing the fragrance oil straight in with the surfactants before I add in the water. And again, I'm using marshmallow cream because the scent is just on par with exactly what Tara likes to smell. Then this is when you want to add in your Glyceryl Oleate. And I always recommend if you're using Glyceryl Oleate to add it in with your surfactants. go ahead and mix all those together. Then this is the time I like to add in my distilled water. And you will notice all those surfactants have thickened up, so it might take a little bit to mix those in with the water, but they will eventually all mix together. Then I'm gonna add in my humectants. I actually forgot, I did make a little bit of a change here. I added in 2 humectants instead of just 1. So I added in the glycerin just like we did on the simplified one, but then I also added in propylene glycol. It's just another humectant, very similar to glycerin. Then I'm gonna go ahead and add in my other 2 new additional ingredients, the shea butter, the PEG 50 shea butter, and the Honeyquats. Then lastly, we're gonna top it off with the preservative Liquid Germall Plus. Make sure everything is nice and well combined. And there you go, that is the advanced hand soap. Now, honestly, the whole reason I made this video is to use this Miffy hand soap dispenser. Honestly, this is a pretty expensive hand dispenser. I don't know how much I paid for it, but if you look for it today, it's like $40. I don't think I paid that much for it, but it's super cute and it's got this entire Miffy figure on the inside. It's so cute, and it's just an automatic hand soap dispenser, so you just put your hands underneath and then it just comes out. Obviously, you need to make sure you charge it, but I've been wanting to make a hand soap formula for you guys for so long, specifically to use this hand soap dispenser. Oh, one more thing I want to talk about is pH. So there is low pH, which is acidic, and high pH, which is alkaline. Our skin's natural pH is somewhat on the acidic side. It's 4.5 to 5.5. So I do recommend checking and adjusting the pH to both of these hand soaps and making it around 4.5 to 5.5. because it will just make the hand soap more gentle on your hands. I have an entire video all about checking and adjusting the pH and how to do that, so check that out. And the pH will definitely take your hand soap to the next level. Make sure you adjust that. My advanced hand soap still looked a little cloudy, and that is very, very common with foaming surfactant products, face washes, body washes, bubble baths, anything you make with bubbly foaming surfactants. Your formula will look different the day you make it compared to the next day and then the following day, because the ingredients, honestly, they need a bit to like chill out. And typically I've noticed when I make foaming surfactant products, they will clear up after a couple days. And this one specifically did. As you can tell, it looks very cloudy and you could barely see the Miffy figure. But here we are the next day, and yes, it's still cloudy, but you could get a much better picture of Miffy. I'm so happy with it. It does look like there's like a settlement of stuff on the top, which I don't really know what that is about specifically. I'm thinking it's just really cold, because when I got in here today, this was like freezing. And I have noticed once I turn my space heater on, it has like gotten more clearer with time. But yeah, that is something to keep in mind with oh my god, wow, that could have been really bad. Okay, I'm glad that did not like spill everywhere. I have all of my memory cards right here. I have my Vlogmas hard drive right here. But yeah, overall, I really like the hand soap formula. You can really tell the difference between the advanced hand soap and the simplified one. The advanced hand soap almost feels like it's got more of a consistency to it. The simplified one almost feels more airy. And I really do feel a bit more of a moisturization, like hydration, from the more advanced one. It also is just a lot more fun looking at the cute, adorable pink Miffy hand soap dispenser when I'm using it. But yeah, let me know if you guys want to see more hand soap formulas. I will see you guys tomorrow. Later.
Also, don't forget to go over and check out my Patreon, where I post 2 exclusive videos every single month. So there is a ton of videos you can go over and binge watch for only $5 a month. Also, if you don't have access to Patreon in your country, you can sign up as a YouTube member instead. If you sign up for the $10 tier on my Patreon, you get a shout out for your small business. I'll have all these brands linked below. naturesmagicllc.com. From Dusk Soapery on Etsy, LloydCandleCompany.com, HB Royal Retreat Store on Etsy, NaturesFarmGirl.com, Let's Blend LLC, at Stardust Bath and Body, HempyGirl.com, ShopLevi's.com, Owl and Lily over on Etsy, Skin Lounge Co. over on Etsy, BlackPetalBeauty.com, EmbraceBeautyEssentials.com, LegendaryBathandBody.com, AstariApothecary.com, Reviga Cosmetics here on YouTube, XoreBB.com, PardoNaturals.com, naturalstateskin.com, thenatureins.ca, nearcatalier.com. Use the code on the screen for 20% off. earthandambernaturals.com, sharkcitynaturals.com, daytorelaxproducts.com, crownedgloryllc.com, lhscentedsoapsandmore.com, janaerose.com, healthnutbeauty on Etsy, velvettemptations.com, journeyrosebeauty.com, chrbrands.com, Homestead Life Goods on Etsy, CanellaBathandBody.com, MadhouseMamaSoaps.com, expo.com, Mystical Morning on Etsy, 7th House and Oak on Etsy, and mycrownandglory.com. Thank you so much for you guys' support. Without you guys over on Patreon, I wouldn't be able to do what I do, so thank you so much.